Sci-fi movies are everyone's favorite genre for a reason. They take us to the edge of our imagination and predict what's to come. While some of these may seem a bit far-fetched, but surprisingly, so many of them have actually predicted the future way ahead of its time. Then be it space travel or even artificial intelligence. These sci-fi classics gave us a glimpse into the future that's actually our present now. So, grab your popcorn because today we have rounded up a list of 10 sci-fi movies that predicted the future accurately. At number 10, we have 1990 Total Recall, a cult classic movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. The movie predicted that we'll have self-driving cars in the future. Crazy, right? In the movie, we see him getting involved in the famous chase sequence using a shoot cab, which is basically a self-driving taxi, robotic assistants that can drive a car with ease. We think these were some bold predictions for that time. But fast forward 30 years, companies like Google and Tesla are making this a reality. Now, at number 9, we have the 1982 Blade Runner. Well, this movie may have missed the mark on flying cars, but its depiction of digital billboards is spot on. Massive digital screens that were constantly changing and flashing bright colors. So much like the billboards that we have today in all big cities. This, in particular, reminded us of New York's Times Square or the bright lights of Tokyo. And well, with the latest upgrade to holographic advertising in Blade Runner 2049, let's see if this prediction also comes true anytime soon. Next up, we have the epic space saga that every sci-fi movie buff loves. Wanna guess? Yes, we're talking about the 1977 Star Wars. Well, do you remember the famous scene where Princess Leia appears as a hologram message pleading for help from Obi-Wan? And who would have thought back then that 4 decades later, we will actually have holograms for entertainment and communication purposes? And I mean, who knows that soon lightsabers would become a real-world thing too. Up next is the 1973 Soylent Green. Well, this movie didn't predict any tech advancements, but rather portrayed a climate catastrophe. Pretty similar to the ones we're dealing with right now. And it's scary how this dystopian movie's warnings seem more relatable now than ever before. I hope that we can learn a thing or two from this movie about the urgent need of protecting our planet from global warming, or else we know how things might end up. Now at number 6, we have Fahrenheit 451 from 1966. This movie predicted a tech gadget that we can't live without. Hint hint, it's also something that you're using while watching this video. Well, if you've seen the movie, you'll see characters wearing tiny earpieces called thimble radios that play music and even transmit conversations. And today we call them earbuds, or if you're an Apple user, then AirPods maybe. And look at how they've become an essential part of our daily lives, be it listening to music while working out or taking an important call while driving. Next up, at number 5, we have the 1902's classic movie, A Trip to the Moon. And just like the name suggests, it showed lunar exploration through a rocket ship. And guess what? That actually happened, but much later in the 1970s, when Neil Armstrong went to the moon. And another exciting news is that billionaire businessman Yusaku Misawa has announced another trip happening around the moon. And well, that's what we call a science fiction becoming a science fact. Now, at number 4, we have the 1993's Demolition Man, a sci-fi action movie starring Sylvester Stallone and features the lockdown life. Well, the movie got pretty popular during the COVID times because of this very reason, with relatable instances like people not shaking hands and a world where there was a toilet paper shortage. How very relatable. Now, let's just hope that, unlike the movie, we are not cryogenically frozen for years. Up next, we have the 1927 silent film, Metropolis, which is considered one of the most influential sci-fi movies ever made. And in case you don't know, the film is famous for featuring a robot that looked and functioned like a real human being. And well, today, such robots exist. Have you heard of the robot called Sophia? Well, she's a humanoid who can actually talk and respond like a real human being. And she even looks like one too. It's pretty crazy stuff. Now we can only imagine what the next generation of humanoids could do. And now at number 2, we have the classic sci-fi movie Logan's Run from 1976. The movie shows us a seemingly perfect future society where everything is made as easy and convenient through this smart home type futuristic feature that responds to its owner's every command, from turning on lights to ordering food and playing music. Sounds just like Google Home, right? Or maybe even Alexa. Now, the creepy part is that with time we find out that utopia in the film was just an illusion, showing how technology can be a blessing as well as a curse. And here's hoping that it doesn't come to a carousel for us. And now finally we have 2001 Space Odyssey from the year 1968 at number 1 on our list. It's no wonder that it's considered one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever. I mean, it predicted and maybe even inspired tech advancements like tablets and even artificial intelligence. The only difference is that instead of HAL 9000, we have Siri and Alexa to answer our questions and follow commands. And with that, it's a wrap. It's been a blast taking a trip down memory lane and seeing just how these sci-fi movies were way ahead of their time when it comes to tech prediction. And who knows, maybe they were actually the inspiration behind these innovations. How many of these movies have you watched? And do you know of any other movies that predicted some future technology? Let us know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, show us some love and give us a big thumbs up.